Joining us now is OjyOkpe, with stories training around the world. You over-motivated me.
This morning. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hello, Jinx.
How are you this morning? Good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. I saw you trending over the weekend. I highlighted Kikelomo. Happy birthday to her. You know that soon there'll be implications for you. How are you this morning?
This week.
Well, all right.
This week.
Wimba, our favorite Nigeria. Good morning.
Yeah? How are you
Fantastic.
today?
Rufy, welcome back.
OjyOkpe!
I missed you. You went on international reporting.
Yes.
You're international. Fantastic. From where? Riyadh, right?
Riyadh.
But how was that? But also over the weekend, you did something really phenomenal. You had another outreach program where you helped young people in your Odogbolu get dental care and all of that pretty quickly.
Outreach. So, I mean, this year alone at the Hussein Center, we've had about 6 different outreaches.
Yes.
Both educational outreach, and this one we did a lot of polishing and scaling and just dental care, and people had their teeth checked. And we did it in partnership with Olam and the KKB Club. I think there's a bunch of dental doctors out of the University of Lagos, and they did help, in terms of sensation. And that's Dr. I think Salihu that was there with us. So it was another chance to be able to give back. So
Rufy on fire. You're always doing exception. Can we just give Rufy a round of applause?
Can they also come to Arise?
Yes, no, it's serious, so we're serious. Can they come?
No, definitely.
Yeah, fantastic.
No, we can arrange.
Because when some people smile around the place, they will need your...
No, okay. I can organize them and we can come like do a,
good idea, fantastic idea. Well done. Thank you, Rufy. Thank you.
People who eat rice and beans in the office and they bring rats and...
Well, all right. Okay. Before we begin what's trending, there's some breaking news. The music producer and composer, Quincy Jones, who worked with music legends, including the late Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, and Ray Charles, has died at the age of 91. Jones's publicist confirmed that he died at his home on Sunday, surrounded by his family. He was best known as the producer of Michael Jackson's historic Thriller album and oversaw the all-star recording of 1985 charity record, We Are the World. Phenomenal. Well, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Well, all right, we'll begin what's trending. In the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, where Condemnation has trailed the incident over minors said to be end bad governance protesters who collapsed in court after being charged for treasonable offenses. The minors, who could be facing the death penalty, were reported to be 29 in number and said to have been flying Russian flags and holding placards during the End Bad Governance protest. They were held in detention for over 90 days. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has asked a federal high court in Abuja to dismiss the charges against the minors, citing sections of the Constitution and the Child Rights Act, stipulating that the underaged defendants ought not to be tried. The court had granted them bail in the sum of 10 million naira each, while the prosecutor asked the judge to remove the names of those who collapsed from the charge. Well, the incident has provoked outrage among a cross-section of Nigerians, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi, who criticized the arraignment. Amnesty International described the detainment of the minors as unlawful, noting that the action shows the government's disregard for the law.
Let me go and take the This person is taken to the clinic. They kept it here. The prosecutor should do their business. How can you arrange children? What's up? Sorry.
I know you've discussed this during the headlines. Really, really sad incident. But what really got me was that the Inspector General of Police over the weekend, Kayode Egbetukun, said that the fainting of the 6 suspects in court before their arraignment was a deliberate act scripted to attract negative attention. Vimbai, you saw that video.
Yeah.
90 days. These people were showing that they were malnourished, right? You saw that. And some of them were asking for cookies, biscuits in court. Completely unacceptable incident that occurred. I mean, I know that, there's been outrage from different parts of Nigeria. Let me take NBA's position on the detained minors. They said, this does not make us look good at all. It makes the credence of our correctional facilities and our pre-trial detention condition questionable and deplorable, and portrays a negative image of us in the international community. Another Twitter user, Ahmad, wrote, enough is enough. People are not just suffering from economic failure. They are being oppressed, silenced, and ignored. This assault on basic rights and dignity must end now. The world needs to see what we're enduring. We won't be silent. Hashtag Nigeria bleeds. End oppression. I'm glad that Nigerians are talking about this incident because, a lot of people say Nigerians are complacent, but this really got me over the weekend. I saw a lot of reactions, but also the newly designated Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim, over the weekend expressed deep concern over the detention of the minors. The minister visited the minors at the detention facility and said that the ministry is working with authorities to expedite their cases in juvenile courts and ensure proper care. Over to you.
So, Oji, according to the statistics, only 13%, that's 13% of children who are detained in Nigeria report that they are well fed. Only 12.9% report that they were given adequate materials for personal hygiene and clothing. So, you look at it, this highlights a systemic failure that is going on and on. Let's also not forget that 10 million naira bail per person for each of these helpless young children was set.
Of anything like that?
And I saw one of the commentators saying that these children don't even look like they can afford 10,000 naira bail each. So how can you put 10 million naira bail on each of them? So this whole thing has just been, it is disgusting, to say the least, to observe how this situation has been managed. And even with all the outrage over the weekend, I thought more would have happened than, bring the case file. I saw an interview over the weekend where someone was saying, when bandits return children that they've kidnapped, they look healthier than how these children look after 90 days in our own detention centers, which is just deplorable.
Absolutely. Dr. Bati, what is going on here? Okay, what does the law stipulate for us?
Very quickly, I'll just summarize. One, this is an abuse of prosecutorial powers on the part of the police. The police is saying they are quoting the Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act. They are quoting Treasonable Felony Act and all of that. Look, I don't see how justice will be done by intimidating and victimizing children, young persons, who are simply saying, look, there is bad governance and we are hungry and we deserve better. Number two is that the rights of these children and even the adults among them have been violated. The law is very clear. You mentioned the Child Rights Act of 2003. Under the Child Rights Act, all the rights that are enjoyed by adults are also to be enjoyed by children. The right to the dignity of the human person, Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution. The right to fair hearing, 35 and 36 of the Constitution. The right to freedom of expression, Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution. The right to the freedom of assembly, Section 40 of the Constitution. All these rights have been violated. Now, they were even detained for 97 days. The law says under Section 35 that you cannot be detained beyond 48, maximum 72 hours. And then the Child Rights Act is very specific. You don't detain minors in the same place with adults. You don't treat them in an unfair manner. You have to make sure that they have access to good care, food, medical care, and all of that. You also have to make sure that the ones that are below the age of 14, It's below the age of 14 is what the Children and Young Persons Act says, that they are kept in a buster, in a remand home, and that they go to the juvenile court. All of these have been violated. What is the solution? Mazi Afamosigwe, NBA president, Femi Falana, SAN, the Minister of Women Affairs, who was set up, and also this morning, Inibe, they've also all given us indications of how this matter should be resolved. To wit, the Attorney General of the Federation has a responsibility to invoke his powers under Section 174 and 211 of the 1999 Constitution to say that these children should just be released for everybody to have peace and to see that justice has been done. It must not be a crime in Nigeria for somebody to say, I am hungry.
That is it.
How can that amount to a crime?
Yeah.
And then Inibe also made the point that does it mean that the government of Nigeria is afraid of children?
That's a question.
And these children that have been given a bail of 10 million naira each, when adults who are confirmed criminals, even in the eyes of the law or the right-thinking members of society commit offense, they are asked to come and pay 500,000 naira.
All right.
Who is that man who misbehaved the other day? The bail they gave him was 500,000 naira, but minus. They said they should come and pay 10 million naira each. That's Nigeria. I don't want to mention the man's name, but you know him, that big man who was saying, do you know who I am?
All right. Dr. Bati,
I don't know his name.
I
don't want to mention his name.
I do not believe that a day will come, Rufai, Vimbai, Dr. Bati, that I will see the time where minors, protesters are being charged for treason. I can't believe it. Please, let our minors go. We'll take another story. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has been trending after stating in a series of clips released over the weekend that Nigeria's struggles with poverty and unproductivity stem from prioritizing politics and religious activities over nation building and economic development. Peter Obi suggested that night vigils should be replaced with night shifts to increase the country's productivity, adding that poverty knows no tribe.
Let's talk about what is happening today. Rice is 100,000 naira. We're not even sure where we're going to be with this situation. He's our turn. He's a Yoruba man. Ask the people in Ogun here, is there any place you will buy bread cheaper? So I can follow you this night and buy one. We live largely in a very unproductive society. That's why the only thing that is attractive here is politics and church. You need to dismantle it. And we're going to turn night vigil into night shifts so people can be productive. I go to church, I believe in God.
Yes.
But we cannot have people Monday to Friday be in church morning and night. No. If I go from here now to my house, the only signboard you see is signboard of churches. You go to the east, it's burials. That's not the country. If you go to any other country, you see products.
I mean, Peter Obi hit the nail on the head. Yes. If you go to other countries, you see products on billboards. Now you are seeing so many, church signposts and everything. Correct. I really, really enjoyed that comment. But he also came under fire, which I want you to also discuss, about the fact that he mentioned it's my turn. Some people in, on Twitter. So people, let me take Daniel Rega's tweet. Daniel Rega said, Peter Obi should have criticized Tinubu's administration without bringing tribalism into it. That statement, it's our turn. He is a Yoruba man. Shouldn't be coming from him. That was a very disappointing talk. A lot of people also campaigned and voted for him, that's Peter Obi, just because he's from the Southeast. Criticize the government, but don't bring ethnicity to it. I think that it was misconstrued.
That's a very misconstrued.
Yes.
I don't.
No, but that's the conversation.
No, I don't.
Misconstrued.
I think misconstrued. I don't rate that comment so highly. I rate it very pedestrian. What did Peter Obi say that is not true? Is President Tinubu not a Yoruba man? Is that not what they said during the election? Our local Yoruba local. Didn't they say that? Did people campaign for him not say that? When the people were putting tribalism into politics, they didn't know that time. He just repeated what they said when they were campaigning for him, that Yoruba Lokon, our Lokon. Am I not a Yoruba man? There was not bringing of any ethnicity into him. That was the president's slogan. And that was what he told his kingsmen, that Yoruba Lokon is a Yoruba man. So there's no tribalism into it. You see, we are all suffering from the shege now. And we have seen the shege doesn't know tribe and religion.
Renewed shege.
The renewed shege. So people that keep deceiving themselves. And what he said about what's it called that's under fire for that, people are saying you shouldn't say night shift should be night view should be turned into night shift. Peter Obi was 100% correct. So why are they attacking the man? He has just told you the truth. Oji, I was in Saudi. I didn't see any billboard advertising any big religious events. That country too is an Islamic country. But they are developing and growing their country. Their cities are not as in decrepit condition like ours. Look at our young people protesting, they are hungry. Yeah. Look at how the kids are hungry. So Oji, I was in Saudi, a Croatian told me a story, and I'll never forget that story. He said in 1970s, when he was a young boy, he was very skinny. He said they used to abuse him with the word that say, "Look, you look like a child from Biafra." Today, if you see this picture that has gone viral around the world now, it's not another sad indication of that's an average Nigerian child. Do you know that the pictures of malnourished children out of Biafra, envelop everywhere in the world back in the days? Till today, we have not learned from it. So why are we deceiving ourselves? You see, when we turn religion around, look at all of our warehouses turned into religious centers because there's no productivity. There was a day, Oji, people used to go to night shift work in this country.
That's it.
They will work in the morning, work in there. There was economic fecundity in this country. Today is no longer there. Companies are leaving the country. Even we in the advertising sector. I was with an advertising doyen yesterday. Brands are not really advertising that much again. So even we in the media, we are losing revenue. The economic hardship and lack of productivity is affecting all of us.
That's it.
In this country, at a point, we used to have the likes of Brightex detergents. We used to have many other detergents and all of that. How many are advertising today?
Yeah.
That's just it. So companies are leaving. And it's not because only the multinationals have left. Some people are now trying to say there's divestment and all of that. See, the new companies that are buying the Itato companies are reducing salaries, are cutting jobs. Things are bad in the economy. What we need to do is to turn Nigeria to a productive economy.
That is it.
There's nothing Peter Obi has said that is to production. There's nothing he has said. We should stop. And the one that said he was talking tribalism, the Tinubu not say Yoruba no come.
But the truth is that
the truth is always
poverty
written.
really
It doesn't
know any tribe.
Shege metal doesn't know tribe.
Doesn't know any tribe. But by talking about productivity here, we'll take another story. The Dangote petroleum refinery has refuted claims by some oil marketers that the cost of petrol from the refinery is higher than that of imported petrol. In a statement on Sunday, the refinery countered claims by the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria that its ex-depot price of petrol is 990 naira per litre for trucks and 960 naira per litre for ships. The refinery said that these prices are benchmarked against international prices and the amounts the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited sells to local marketers. Well, according to the refinery, any oil marketer that sells petrol cheaper than the price it offers is importing substandard products. Price. This is what we've been talking about since now. We now know the price of Dangote fuel. Hallelujah. We now know the price now.
That's all we wanted.
Thanks to you, the buy and IO.
We've been pushing.
Yes,
we've been pushing.
Yes. And you know what? Even if his price is higher, he's in business. So it's not, thank God they've now told us the price.
Yes.
But all I'm trying to say is that before Dangote started getting his allocation of crude oil from NNPC, he was importing crude oil. So because of that, his price could have been higher. Even if it was, it's his personal business. He's not here to do philanthropy, to do charity, to do anything. But all we are saying is that let's just be transparent. Let's know the price. Now we know the price. Thank you, sir. We're very grateful. Now we can face the importers and know who's doing what, who's telling the truth. Now we know. Let everything just be out there. And I hope he will be releasing, because there's no set price with PMS. The price is shared every morning. So I do hope that on those lists that a trader friend of mine shared with me, where they advertise their prices daily, I hope his price will be there daily as well, so that all who are in the market can place their orders.
Please, 30 seconds.
Okay, the statement issued by Tony Cheji now, who is the chief brand officer and communications officer for Dangote, needs to be put in proper context for people to understand it. And here is the background. IPMAN, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, and Petrohan, the Petroleum Owners Association of Nigeria, they had said that they've had to be importing fuel because Dangote's fuel was more expensive than imported fuel. Now, that was specifically what the Dangote refinery was reacting to.
Yeah.
And the Dangote refinery was saying that, look, we sell for trucks at 960, or is it, no, for ships at 960, for trucks at 900 naira. And that the claims by Ipman and Petroan are not correct. And that if anybody says that lower the price that Dangote refinery sells, then it means that they are selling substandard products.
Yeah, that's what he
That's the main point of that piece. Second point is that their own price that they have now disclosed is benchmarked to the rate at which NNPC Limited also sells. And at 3, the regulator, which is the more curious part of it, the NMDPRA, the Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency, has no laboratory to even check standards. So even if people are importing bad fuel, the regulator has no capacity. That's a very serious indictment of the NMDPRA that they need to look into. So these are the 3 key points in that statement. And I hope that everybody will get the point that Dangote has made about the integrity of the refinery's products, and to say that if you see some standard product, it's not coming from them. It's coming from Ipman, Petroan, and similar groups that are trying to sabotage Dangote refinery.
All right.
They made the final point that government has a responsibility to support domestic industry. And I think that's a brilliant point that Dangote refinery made.
Well said, Dr. Abati. We'll head over to the United Kingdom now with the biggest story. Nigerian-born British Femi Falana over the weekend secured a historic victory to become the first black woman to lead a major political party in the country. The 44-year-old defeated fellow right-winger Robert Jenrick in a marathon contest to replace Rishi Sunak, who led the party to the biggest defeat in its history in July's general election. While in her victory speech, Falana promised to renew the party and win back voters who have deserted the Conservative Party. Falana, whose victory has been controversial, has been trending for her views against black immigrants. In one instance, Falana had accused Labour of wanting to teach Britain's children to be ashamed of the country's history and called out Caribbean nations that are claiming slavery repatriations from Britain, saying it is a scam.
This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbours. We work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
Well, I mean, those advocating for reparations would say, shouldn't we just make up for some of the damage we did through the slavery? As a black woman saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong. But there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more.
Well, congratulations to Femi Falana. But you know, her views have been quite controversial, especially against black immigrants. You know, unfortunately, people are allowed to hold their opinions. We can't criticize them for what they say. But unfortunately, she was born black. And the expectation is that she should, support the black race. You know, back in 2022, Falana tabled a move towards a new history curriculum covering both sides of the UK colonial past. She's more interested in, balancing the story than... listen to that video right there.
So what history does she want to tell? She want to tell the history of the likes of the bodyguards of this world?
Yeah.
And they try, as she said, there are many things colonialists got right. Like destabilizing Nigeria. Like cobbling together the nation because of their own interests. Do you know the joining together of the Southern and the Northern Protectorate was because of ease of governance? That's where the likes of Lugard. Did she know the nefarious activities that Lugard did here? with the Maxim gun? Did she know the killings that went on? And she's saying people that their land was exploited in the Caribbean, the sugar plantation and everything. Has she read books like The Sugar Masters? How they used slavery and they took the wealth? Does she know how much Britain stole from India, the empire? The gold they stole? So she said there's no way for reparation because she wants to be, and she has become conservative leader now. She should continue to stew in her own juices. But what Kemi should never forget is that she has a bloody identity crisis.
Absolutely.
And all of this she's saying, you know, when the white people when they finish using her, they will throw her off their mouth quickly. And she will remember. She's doing this now, this Uncle Tom. And she's going on this wild goose chase of tomfoolery.
Yeah, all right. All right.
The colonialist Britain did more damage than harm to this country. Let's set the history straight. Kemi is becoming a revisionist. She's lying to us in our faces.
All right, Rufai.
And she should stop this rubbish.
Well, all right.
What nonsense is this?
Well, people, thought leaders, people have congratulated her, including Peter Obi. Let me take his tweet. He wrote, in part, Badenoch's election is a powerful testament to the global potential of Nigerian and African youth. Her success showcases the strength of diversity and underscores the possibilities achievable when competence, capacity, integrity, and inclusivity are prioritized. This accomplishment is both inspiring and a wake-up call highlighting the leadership paradox in Nigeria, where younger leaders with proven competence, capacity, and integrity often remain sidelined in favor of older figures who lack the same drive and qualities that the younger ones bring to the table. As we celebrate Kemi's achievement, let us use it as a catalyst for change within our leadership landscape. And you know that Vimbai, Peter Obi has always pushed for our brain drain will someday become our brain gain. I mean, he has congratulated Kemi Badenoch, and I'm sure he's not the only one, and we all congratulate her. Well, fantastic. Well, before we take our good news report, let us highlight this story. Congratulatory messages have been pouring in for billionaire businessman and philanthropist Femi Otedola, who turns 62 today. Otedola, who is reputed as a strong man of the financial capital markets after acquiring the single largest shares at FBN Holdings, has left an indelible mark on the lives of countless individuals and communities, earning him a reputation as one of the most compassionate billionaires in the world. Otedola's philanthropic efforts have been hailed as a beacon of hope for the underprivileged. As he embarks on a new year, he achieved another milestone. His leadership at FBN Holdings has helped push the group's total asset from $8.56 billion in June 2023 to $16.6 billion by September 2024. What would we say? Yeah, he should send implications. Someone is saying, can we all congratulate this billionaire philanthropist? Happy birthday. You know, last time he celebrated his 60th on the Christina O yacht. Was it? Yeah, we took that story. It was beautiful. But he's a great philanthropist, and Nigerians and Nigeria at large are proud of him. Well, happy birthday.
Implications.
Yeah, so.
You are not talking.
No. I mean, for me, this is about Femi Falana is what he has done for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
For universities, for people out there, you know, for people in need, constantly being that person that steps in and wishing many more years.
Yes, his humanism.
That's
congratulations,
many more
Otedola.
Yeah, just starting.
Happy birthday. Well, before we end what's trending today, we'd like to highlight how the Nigerian creative industry paid tribute to one of its biggest financiers, the late iconic banker, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, whose influence and contributions have made a remarkable impact in the art community. In our Good News Report. The 9th edition of West Africa's International Art Fair, ArtX, kicked off over the weekend with 10 galleries on display projecting works from various artists across the African continent and Europe. This year's edition showcased the virtues of some of the unsung heroes of Africa's creative industries, which includes the former CEO of Access Bank, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, photographer Jonathan Adagogo Green, recording artist August Agbola Brown, who was the first West African to record a jazz sound, and Nana Asmao, a poet and teacher, while the founder of ArtX, Tokini Peterside, said that the tribute to these unsung heroes was aimed at arousing nostalgia and to educate young creatives about the heroic feats achieved by Nigerians in the past. On the opening night, ArtX showcased a special tribute to the late Herbert Wigwe.
At ArtX, we've always believed in the power of culture to unlock our potential in Nigeria and Africa. Art inspires, connects, and reminds us of who we are. Herbert Wigwe shared that belief wholeheartedly in thought and action. His passion and commitment were evident in every conversation, every event, and every step of this journey with us. He was thinking about our upliftment, our elevation as a people on the global stage. We were aligned.
We must continue to engage irrespective of how we are in Nigeria, in Africa, and the continent. And I'll tell you why we do it. We do it to support young, talented Nigerians and Africans to be the very best that they can be. By choosing and supporting the arts, we will take most of our young people off the streets. We will generate exports. We will show the very best that Africa truly has. We have a very strong voice. The world must hear us. The more we can share our history, our culture, and where we come from, the better it will be, and the more respect we'll get internationally.
The work that Dr. Wigwe have done for artists has helped push their name out there, get people to see them and see the amazing work that they do.
Thank you, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, because for long I didn't consider myself to be an artist, but until after that day where I was announced, it was almost like a validation, almost like saying you are welcome.
When you have an institution coming together with one idea, trying to help you out and give you some funding to create things that speaks to what we need to hear as a country. So that's one thing that's really amazing about the prize. And this is through the support and the funding from Access and Herbert Wigwe.
If I could say anything to Dr. Herbert Wigwe, I would say a big thank you for taking a chance on emerging artists, especially from Nigeria and Africa. The impact is outstanding and the legacy will always be remembered and will live forever.
I think he has started a legacy that everybody can emulate from. With ArtX Prize, we're going to remember him forever.
We at ArtX thank you, Herbert, for believing in our vision and for championing the arts as a force for change.
A force for change, a visionary. While dignitaries, including the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musanwa, the chairman of This Day, and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Ogbaegbena, all attended the opening night of the 13th edition of the Africa International Film Festival, curated by founder Chioma Ude. Prince Nduka Ogbaegbena presented the Herbert Wigwe Trailblazer Award, honoring Nigerian creatives. Recipients include President of Afrexim Bank, Benedicto Rama, and the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. There was also a special tribute to the late iconic banker, Herbert Wigwe.
Of all the things I do in my life, one of the most important things and my greatest satisfaction comes from supporting the creative industry, supporting AFRIF.
I had to let you know.
Let's make our country good for all of us. If our people are not educated, they will treat them the way they treated our forefathers through slave trade.
I guess heaven was needing a hero, somebody just like you, brave enough to stand up for what you believe and follow it through.
Herbert Wigwe, may his soul continue to rest in peace. A great pioneer, a great visionary, and changed the entire art landscape. I'd like to congratulate AFRIF, Tokini Peterside of ArtX, with the amazing festival and art exhibition that took place over the weekend. Dr. Bati.
Congratulations to Tokini Peterside,
yes,
to all the honorees.
Fantastic.
And then this is the point about the legacy of Herbert Wigwe.
Legacy of Herbert
When you live a life of impact,
yes,
you never die.
Well,
Herbert Wigwe lives on.
I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.